What if I told you one of the greatest basketball legends ever lived two completely different lives at the same time? One the world celebrated, and another almost nobody saw. For over 2 decades, Dwyane Wade looked like the perfect American sports story. 3 NBA championships. A Finals MVP in 2006. 13 All-Star appearances. The fearless leader who turned the Miami Heat into a dynasty. Fans remember the explosive drives, the dramatic shots, the way he rose after every fall. On the surface, it looked like victory built from pure willpower. But here's the part most people never saw. When the arena lights turned off and the crowds went home, Wade stepped into a much heavier life. A life where his body ached from years of sacrifice. Where the scars weren't just physical. Where fatherhood, family struggles, and personal doubts followed him long after the final buzzer. To understand Wade, you have to go back to Chicago's South Side, where he was born. His childhood wasn't filled with stability. His mother struggled with addiction, disappearing from his life again and again. Imagine being a young boy learning that the people you depend on might not always be there. That kind of absence leaves marks deeper than any injury. So Wade built armor early. He learned not to show weakness. Not to expect help. Basketball eventually became his escape, a place where effort meant control. On the court, he could transform pain into motion. Every aggressive drive to the basket wasn't just athleticism. It was survival. When he reached Marquette University, the world finally noticed him. Leading the school to the Final Four, he suddenly looked like the next NBA star. In 2003, the Miami Heat drafted him. Almost overnight, the kid from Chicago became a symbol of hope for an entire franchise. Then came 2006, the season that changed everything. Wade carried Miami through the NBA Finals with one of the most explosive performances in basketball history. The city celebrated him like a hero. But what fans didn't realize was the price his body was already paying. His knees had begun to break down under the relentless impact of his fearless playing style. He kept going anyway. Champions often do. And the struggles didn't stop off the court. During the peak of his career, Wade faced a painful divorce and a brutal custody battle. While millions watched him dominate games, he was fighting in courtrooms to stay present in his children's lives. Imagine switching between those worlds, cheers in the arena one night, legal stress the next morning. Later in his career, Wade made another quiet sacrifice when the Miami Big Three formed with LeBron James and Chris Bosh. Wade stepped back from the spotlight so the team could succeed. Fewer touches. Less recognition. More physical sacrifice. Championships followed, but the credit often shifted elsewhere. Then came perhaps the most defining moment of his life, standing publicly beside his daughter Zaya. The decision cost him endorsements and brought harsh criticism. But Wade made it clear, protecting his child mattered more than protecting his image. Today, Wade lives differently. The explosive athlete is gone. The knees still remind him of the price he paid. The crowds are quieter now. But in place of that noise, something else exists: family, honesty, and the freedom to live without performing for the world. And maybe that's the real story of Dwyane Wade. Not just the championships or the highlights, but the courage to stay true to himself even when the applause faded. If stories like this make you look at famous lives differently, consider subscribing. Because behind every legend, there's always a human story waiting to be understood.